Well, if you have an older deck, I mean, the biggest thing, that you want to look at is the ledger board, or how that deck's attached to the house. Deck collapses almost always happen at the house connection. It's kind of, the opposite of what people typically think. People typically will call us and say, my piers are settling or shifting, my deck's becoming out of level, and they're worried about their deck falling. Decks don't collapse that way. They collapse at the house. Really, you want to make sure that that house envelope is protected and then that ledger board is attached adequately to the house. In addition to that, you want to make sure all the framing members have adequate size hardware, joist hangers, L brackets, holding them to the ledger board and to the rim plates of the deck, and that the support posts are notched in and attached to that framework adequately and code compliant. Stairs are another big thing. You want to make sure your stairs are attached correctly. There's the right number of stringers in there depending on the decking that you're using. And then guardrails are a big area of concern when people call us, or when we look at a deck that's older, dilapidated. Guardrails are always kind of, second to the house connection. Guardrails are typically my biggest concern. A guardrail by code is required to withstand 200 pounds of lateral force at the top rail at any point, any direction. And a lot of older guardrails are not. They're either nailed onto the outside of the deck, the balusters are just nailed in. And if the deck's, 6, 8, 10 feet off the ground, I mean, that could be catastrophic. So there's a few things, but I would say house connection, guardrails, and stairs are the big things to be looking at. And you want to look for signs of rot, or signs of siding rot above or below the deck where that ledger is attached to the house. That's going to be indicative of water entrapment and that your house envelope may not be protected. And that ledger, like I said, if a deck collapse happens, it typically happens there where those fasteners that hold that ledger board to the house, they don't have enough traction in the house framing anymore because water's gotten in there and rotted things out. And so the ledger will fall off the house. But those are the main things. You should make sure that contractor is pulling a permit before the work starts. It has to be issued before the work starts. They can't start the work and then pull the permit. But paramount to that is you need to make sure that permit gets closed out. And if you're unsure of that, if there's a permit pulled or if it was closed out, some cities you can view your inspection status online just by typing in your address. But if not, call them and ask them if a permit was pulled and if it was closed out. They're going to be the professional, the third party that's going to come in there and knows the code and is going to be able to tell you if that deck is code compliant. That needs to be certified. It needs to be on record as such, because if something does happen, that's going to be your way to say that you as a homeowner made sure did everything in your power to make sure your deck was code compliant.